Basically, the justification for enslavement was that, cruel as it might have been, it would improve the lot of the African savages. So as early as the 1440s, a Portuguese courtier named Gomes Eanes Azarara is witnessing the separation of the first group of slaves on a field outside of Lagos, Portugal. And he's moved to tears, as are many people in the audience, by seeing women being separated from their husbands and from their children, by seeing children separated from their parents trying to run back to them. And he says, for a moment, my human weakness got the better of me, but then I recalled that now they would have access to wine and clothes and basically Western civilization. So right there in the 1440s, it's the earliest shipment of slaves into the Atlantic world. You have the justification for Christianity as a civilizing aspect for these pagan and uncivilized Africans.
Shalom, Akim. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Raha Kodash. I like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I like to say Shalom to the elect that teach the word in all truth, faith, and sincerity. And yeah, as you can see, the clip I played, this devil on him justifying slavery. But guess what? The Lord allowed this man to do what he got to do and have him play out that reign of terror. But guess what? It's going to get to the point where you being put in slavery is justified. Because that's what the scripture says. Matter of fact, let's get it. For everything you have done is going to be received upon you, man. You gotta hit them same steps on the way down, man. This is Revelations 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. See? And this is not a suggestion. This is a commandment. This is actually going to play out. The same ones that put us in captivity, they're going to go into captivity. Which the top captive nation is going to be the Edomites. Because all nations had a part in our downfall. But the so-called white man, our arch enemy, he's going to get it the worst, man. Because he the one, it tells you, give me any affliction but the affliction of an enemy. Well, this is the worst captivity ever, man. And you see those bruises, those sores of slavery. Look at our people, man. Trying to be like the so-called white man. This black culture, psycho-babbling. Those are the results of slavery, man. But guess what? It's going to get a point in time where there's going to be a day of reckoning. The so-called white man is going to have to drink of that same cup, man. So let's read it again, Revelation 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. See? All this is mandatory, man. Because this man, the Lord have sanctioned this man to go be overthrown by the way of war. That's how he came into power. Everything he got, he got it by the way of the sword, by the way of war. So this is how this man is going to be taken down. It says, here is the patience and the faith of the saints. See? Why? Because those are the ones that's asking for justice, man. Crying out for justice, man. For the Lord to subdue this man, overthrown, and we bound him up. But this slavery is going to be justified because it the scripture said, man. Matter of fact, is that Joel 3? Let me see. I think that's Joel the 3rd chapter. Let's see. Yep, this is Joel 3, and I start at 1. It says, "For behold, in those days," see, which is this time right here, "and in that time," this is that appointed time. See, this is that time where everything is about to be summed up. The icing on the cake is this is it right here, man. The climax of life. You know, it says, "When I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem," see, and that lets you know it's going to be in this time in Babylon under the rule of the so-called white man. This is where that was going to take place. You know, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. See? So the Lord is going to call all these nations up, to destroy them, man. Why? For his people. Because pretty much, we was pretty much scattered through these other nations. We were so under slavery throughout these other nations. And these niggas even got a hold to our land and parted it. And you got two heathens fighting over something that ain't theirs, man. But now that's why you see everything stirred up, because we in a time where when the Lord come back, he's going to correct everything. Everything's about to come back in its rightful lot, man. So what that entails, the so-called white man being a servant, tells you that the elder going to serve the younger. Even though that happened, during the time of King David, guess what? Every time we ruled, we had, especially them niggas, in subjection. So it's going to play out once again, man. This is what it's going to play out in this fullness, us having these Edomites in subjection, man. It says, "And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink." See? And you can actually go into it. These things happen, man, to our people, man. And ain't no typo. They actually did have little boys for harlots, man. You don't think this man's gonna get repaid back for those things, man? And all this, happened under us when we was in that hardcore bondage. It says, "Yeah, what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head." See, so Lord is gonna pay back these Hamites, because like I said, all these other heathens had a part in our downfall, man. Yeah, it was manifest. All these things. This is all part of the script, because you had to go into slavery at the end. These other nations, they gotta be. Who gonna build the kingdom? You gotta have subjects. But now is being, now you see is why it's being justified, because what they have done unto us, man. It says, "Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, see, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things." And it's talking about the people. It said, "The children also of Judah, see, and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their borders." See, and that's what happened. We were sold into these Edomites, and you know how these devils, they might say, "Yeah, well, black soul blessings." You know how these devils do it. Okay, well, that's just the case. Okay, cool. But what happened when we got into your hands? That's what What happened when we was in your hands, man? It was no mercy shown. Matter of fact, let's get that. Isaiah 47. That's why you devils, man, you got a lot to pay for, man. And you don't want to talk about slavery, because the true reparation, the true way of recompensing, dealing with that situation, to put your ass in the slavery, beat your ass, man. And it's been, we reading the justifications of it. because of what you have done to us. But we're going to do it in righteousness. You finna actually have a righteous ass whipping. You know? This is Isaiah 47 and 6. It says, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hands. See, so the Lord allowed, that was pretty much the words of the Lord rising up against us. When he said he's going to send that eagle, and he was going to be the catalyst for those plagues that was going to be upon us. You know? So let's see when it's happening. It says, thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou heavily laid thy yoke. See, so this man, when we was given unto his hands, you know, this man have showed no mercy, man. You know, he showed no mercy, man. So what you think is gonna come upon him? You know, you been having somebody beat your ass all these years, and then get to the point in time where now you able to defend yourself. You ain't finna just say, man, we gonna have bygones be bygones. You gonna want to beat his ass. You know. And now when the time when we actually crying out for the right things, you know, that's why it tells you the patience and the faith of the saints. We know this is what we crying out for. This is what we want. Us to bind these devils up, man, and put them in slavery. You know? What it said, when we got into this man's hands, we were shown no mercy. This is James 2:13. For he shall have judgment without mercy that have showed no mercy. See, that lets you know it's talking about the same one, the Edomite, so-called white man, the ruler of the modern day Babylon. You know, you wonder why a nigga, you know, got dyed hair of 40 and he likes cereal so much. It go back to the so-called white man, what he did to us in slavery. You know, even back then, you know, you had Jakes with the slick hair, and they slide it back like them Edomites, man. Well, all that shit go back to slavery, them swords, man. You know? And this man have showed no mercy. Like, you know, you going to gator baiting, nigger ball, and, you know, hangings was just a norm. You having a picnic during a hanging, man. You know, even though that was during a lot of time, but still, that's why this man he got a whole lot to pay for, man. This man got a whole lot to pay for, but you see, it's being justified because the scripture said, man. You know, he actually got to fill up to his measure. He got a certain lot he got to fulfill. So it ain't like this just for nothing, man. Matter of fact, let's get this in the book of Job. You know. Ain't like this for nothing. No, he actually filling up his measure, man. This is Job 4:7. It says, remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent. See? Just like us. We didn't just go into slavery because it was just a coincidence. We ran into the so-called white man, he needed slaves. No. That was a strategic thing, man. The Lord, that was part of the contract. We don't do these things, this was going to actually happen. You know? So we weren't innocent. Yeah, it was justified us going into slavery. But guess what? It's going to be justified you going into slavery. It says, oh, where were the righteous cut off? And as you can see, it's question marks as well. Because if you innocent, you know, it tells you that, you know, you will live if you do righteous, man. You know, but if you off, you're going to die. And that's just like now. You can't get mad because you getting 10 years for a robbery. You know you wanted 2 years, but that ain't you know you exceeded the measure of getting something worth 2 years of prison. You did something that was worth 10 years, man. Well, the same thing. This man have filled up the lot in the measure to have 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, man. You know? It says, even as I have seen, they that apply iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. See? So this that same generation that had us in slavery back then, man. you know. And now they finna uh, reap the fruits of it now. See, now they was able to. Back then they tore, they beat their ass, and now you see these modern day Edomites in condos and a house on a hill, because they reaping the benefits of that, you know, of getting our ass beat. But also he got to eat the fruit. He got to eat the fruit of the cause and effect. Every cause got an effect. Every action got a reaction, you know. So this man putting us in slavery, you know, even though you might, you know, reap the benefits for a few, you know, for a little, but it's gonna get to the point you gotta eat the fruit thereof. You gotta go into slavery now, you know, and that's the time we in, man. We seeing the process, everything lean to that, because when the smoke clear, the dust settle, when the destruction take place, we're gonna get these bankers, man. You know, those are the heads, you know, but the whole nation of Edom is gonna go into slavery, man. This is Psalm 7 and verse. I started at 14. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and have conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood. Yeah, that's a so-called white man, and that's the only way he was able to maintain his kingdom, through lies and deception, keep you in the dark about things. Oh, that's why they try to, you know, take slavery. They actually, in the process of doing it, taking slavery out the Bible. I mean, not out these books. You know, they trying to cover their tracks, man. You know, but it's too late. It's like the cat is out the bag, man. It says he made a pit and digged it, and it's falling into the ditch which he made. See, so this man, this pit, he's gonna fall into that pit, meaning what he's gonna be in subjection. He's gonna be in a hole, stuck in this system. You know, because he was trying to set up the way he had perpetual slaves. But you're gonna be the slave, man. You know. Oh, it tells you those that flee from the north shall fall into the pit. So the Lord's gonna actually set it the way, you know, you're gonna get away from that destruction, just so you can be the first ones to pick up bodies, man. You planting flags, you digging graves. Oh, that's why they're saying you do the time, you do the crime, you gotta do the time. This man messed up the planet Earth, man. And they'll tell you that he's gonna destroy the earth. So what's gonna be one of the things that's gonna help repair the earth? You know, those dead bodies being buried, man. That's gonna actually nourish the planet Earth. So this man's first job is actually gonna be beneficial. You know, that's why this slavery is gonna be a righteous and a rigorous rule, man. You know, but this man, he got a lot coming to him. So let's